Boys, we gotta talk about this, man, because I think I have just found, no clickbait, no joke, no exaggeration, the most broken mechanic in League of Legends. And also how to abuse that to the maximum. As you guys may know, Sylas is already a champion that I played on this channel multiple times, made some videos. I'm a challenger jungler on EU West, and I like to find a lot of new potential builds that people are overlooking. Not necessarily of meta, I'm just trying to juice everything that I can from these theory crafting capabilities. And what's the deal with Sylas jungle in this match? You will see in a second. It has to do with Yorick Maiden. And if you watch this whole video, you will see some stuff about, you know, the micro of the character, what to skill, what to build, what the runes are, and how I'm gonna abuse this Yorick Maiden to get some crazy fucking value from Sylas. It's gonna be more broken than 99 Rengar, Desperate not to scale, more broken than fucking full build mastery. I just don't think something can be as broken as this, so we just go for a clear. Let's talk a bit about the runes. I got triple tonic, which I was going anyway, but now it even got buffed, so it's even better to have some extra gold for the early recalls. Level 6, get Elixir of Frost, get a spike, and also, most important for Sylas, is Elixir of Skill, because all three of his base abilities work really well with skill points. Okay. What happened here is that I went for my Krugs, and even though I expected a Rek'Sai a bit, because I waited with my abilities, I didn't just E over this wall into the camp instantly. I just kind of went a bit disrespectful and assumed that if she didn't do anything until now, knowing that she's lower HP than me, she probably will not try to steal these scamps, because I assumed that she already placed her vision earlier, because I saw she came from our jungle, which was a correct assumption. She has no words, she doesn't see what's happening here, but she still went for the play. If I was a bit more patient and she does this, it's pretty bad, so you could definitely say it's a flip, but I still lose the entire camp, so I could have played it better. Definitely this is turning into a war now, where I'm trying to get my teammates to react to this, trying to bait the guy. He has flash, but even if he flashes on me, I'm not gonna die. Oh, never mind, he didn't have flash, he used it level 1. Even if he flashed on me, I wouldn't die. Still. I just let Diana kill the Rek'Sai, I secure my camp. Morgana tries to do something funny. We don't really care about that, we know she has no flash. And then I continue to farm my jungle, because it'll be too much of a flip for Rek'Sai to try to attack these camps while she's technically behind and she doesn't know if I recalled or not. So we just finish the clear simply to get this golden XP as fast as possible off the map. Not a big deal. And then I even find a kill on Tristana with a max range E, so now we end up starting with a really big lead. Let's talk a bit about the Q max while we are at it. Okay, why do we max Q on Sylas? Because this ability has the highest base damage on all of the spells, 75 damage per rank. It goes to 400 base damage with a high AP ratio that can be multiplied further by reducing the cooldown per rank, and then you also more than double the slow on Q, which can set up your E, the Q explosion itself, or even just catching up, sticking to targets to eventually kill them. Well, the W is mostly for skirmishing, but my friends, it is season 15. You are mostly farming jungle camps. The skirmishing with Q is strong anyway, and let me explain why. As I said, it's the most damage. You can poke with Q, the cooldown is already low, 6 seconds, with the haste I have. Before you even go in, you can already make enemies lower if you hit this explosion. It's almost 400 damage right now with my current AP, and yes, I got a bit fed, and this is the secret technology that I want to explain. Hopefully you can get why QMax is strong. If not, I explain it even deeper on my other videos. It's mostly for the clear speed. You can have much better tempo, golden XP generation, and then you still get your W at a reasonable time, because you also go triple tonic and max it. But then I skipped my camps from the full clear, not only because this guy was killable. It's probably worth it anyway, because I know Rexa is on her topside camps right now, because I've been tracking her, which means that she cannot steal my camps on both sides. And we also win 2v2 if she tries to lane gank. Because of the Garen, Ignite and ult burst, it's pretty simple. I also have a full item. But I want to steal the Yorick Maiden, because now I can use the Yorick Maiden, which, just like Yorick's own Maiden, lasts for infinity. I grab this, I can have it for the whole game until the end if I don't make a big mistake. And the Maiden also levels up when you skill it, when you get different items, when you stack Conqueror, it gets stronger. You don't need to reactivate it to update those stats. Now if we combine it with Malignance, what is the deal here? We have to break down a few other concepts. Normally I'll build Blackfire Torch on my Sylas build, because I'm playing Sylas as a bruiser. Okay, you have to break a lot of these concepts about Sylas. Sylas is really strong with tanky itemization as a bruiser with some tank items, because his base damages are really high on everything, and his W not only scales pretty high with HP now, but it gives him a lot of sustain to sort of play like a volibear. And in mid-game, if you end up getting some resistances or just tanky items, you'll be unkillable with the W sustain. As I mentioned, I'm gonna be able to max it early even though I'm skipping it with a Q because of triple tonic, putting me lower. And sometimes you can even skip points in R to get your W and E maxed faster depending on the value of the ults on enemy team. As if, for example, if I skill Poppy R, I only get 100 damage. That's not really worth it, so if they have multiple ults like that where their level scaling is not very good, since all you get is some CDR on your R when you level it, it's probably better to skip it and level your basic abilities. But let's pause for a moment and slow it down so I can explain everything to you. Because I'm going to go for sustained patterns for tankier builds on Sylas, not nuke, not AP assassin, because I don't think that's the best way to play Sylas. Once again, you can check out my other Sylas videos because I have a few uploaded to learn more if you are interested about this champion. I will go The W costs 90 mana when maxed, and the other spells cost quite a bit as well. Even if you play AP Assassin Sylas, you'll still go from time to time in a lot of situations, because you have to use a lot of rotations on jungle camps, which is naturally going to mean that you run it up to some fights with like half mana. Which means that I want mana from a source. I might buy Blackfire Torch first item, which gives me good clear speed, it's kind of cheap and mana. Just gonna make me a clear super strong with Qmax plus Blackfire Torch. Or I might build a tier after my first item to go for something like Winter's Approach. Even setups can be okay, but I never build it. The other thing you can do though is go Malignance with ults like NST Burst, Daisy, Yorick Maiden, even stuff like Renekton, Shaco, Nasus, Udyr. Those can work with Malignance pretty well, because Yorick, Maiden autodecks, they proc Malignance. So I'm walking around with the threat of hitting people with Malignance, which does as much damage as like 2 or 3 Sunfire Capes in early game. It's pretty crazy DPS if you can keep them in the zone, and also shreds magic resistance by 10. For reference, 10 pen in early game is probably about 5% damage increase on average, so you should probably know that I'm kind of getting Sword Shoes as well. Of course, the item is also pretty cheap. I get 90 AP, 15 haste. Even ult haste can be useful sometimes, but I don't care about the ult haste that much, obviously. So this is the secret technology. We go Malignance with Yorick Maiden, and even on this pop you can see I shred her MR, it does some damage, and I kinda nuke her. And you can apply forever and ever, as you can see, even in this short fight trying to kill a support Poppy with no magic resist. I applied the Malignant zone twice, because it has like a short internal cooldown. And the higher we go, the more damage it does, the bigger the zone is gonna be. And there are also some other things that can be used to amplify this Malignance interaction with Yorick. Okay? Now I'm super strong, so of course I want to go for some jungle camps. Alright? Yeah, Poppy underestimated me, grief there a bit, support players. This is not the easiest game right now. They have... My bot lane is inting, Tristana is extremely far ahead, C skills, up 30 farm. Mid lane and top lane are doing okay, but it's looking a bit rough. I just got a lot of kills, I got turbo far ahead, and this is why this is not balanced. Yorick, Maiden, 60 damage per second. You also spawn ghouls. You can just have about 2 or 3 ghouls right now, if I'm not mistaken. 2 mistwalkers, and you might even be able to get up to the cap. I actually don't remember. Yeah, you can get 4 maidens, just like... What the fuck am I saying? 4 ghouls, just like Yorick. So you can just get a lot of ghouls. They each deal like 53 damage. And you can also apply the maiden on hit. On every auto attack. Right now it's 2% max health magic damage. And you imagine on Sylas you have such fast auto attacks. Even in a short fight you can deal like 10% max health magic damage with this passive. And you clear so fast. I was able to nuke the dragon, and normally it's really hard to do dragons with Sylas. So this also gives you a lot of objective control to stack early rakes, grabs, whatever. You can block skill shots, you can block stuff like Kha'Zix's Q, Udyr Isolation, Mordekai's Q. It really is obnoxious. The only downside is that the maiden kinda gets left behind here and there. I'm not sure if their movement speed gets super increased like Yorick gets, because you know when Yorick's pets are too far away they get a lot of movement speed. I'm not sure if it necessarily works like that. Sylas also dashes around. Let me show you what I do here. Let's try to cover as much as we can. I don't want to make this video 1 hour long. I don't want to bore you to death, but you hopefully understand the point. And now I went steel caps because I'm playing versus 4AD champions, and I want to go into those sustained bruiser builds. I'm also gonna go Iceborne Gauntlet. What is Iceborne Gauntlet going to do, guys? You combine the Iceborne slow field with the Malignance damage field, which means you keep them longer in the Malignance zone, resulting into a DPS increase. Iceborne, I presented it before as well, it's just a solid item on Sylas. Because it allows you to land the Q detonation, which I'm maxing to get insane clear speed. Imagine if the Iceborne slow allows me to land the second part of Q, boom, 400 fucking extra damage. If it allows me to land the E, damage, knock up, you know, all of these things. And it even keeps them in range for Malignance. I can perma-slow people, they cannot run away from me, I'm very unkiteable. And Iceborne does decent damage, and it has 15 haste, because haste is something that you really like on Sylas on the build that I'm going. And even though this item has no HP, Sylas has high base stats, and then I go into tankiness. Okay. And I just keep very ICS numbers, and here I walk up because I'm tracking Rek'Sai. I know Rek'Sai is on top side, I know she cannot just instantly go to steal these camps. Garen is in base, so I will perform what is known as a rage bait, fellas. We're gonna rage bait Mr. Yorick a bit. I want Rek'Sai to come here and try to 1v2, perhaps I kill the maiden, push the wave in, not a big deal. And you'll see the power of the Q. So, my E is on cooldown, I get caged. It's okay, I shout. Rek'Sai is still gonna try to want to get my shutdown. This is the power of the Q already. She loses 400 HP from nothing. Before I'm even interacting in melee range. As I said, you can poke people with this ability maxed. It's very powerful. The slow lens, which allows me to create more distance. Okay. Now I can land the E, the Malignance is hitting, the MR is shredded, the nuke becomes insane, and then the next Q comes up from cooldown. So because I land 2 Qs in this fight, it ends up being some crazy damage, which you cannot find in the W. W max, 35 damage, Q max, 75 damage per skill point. And boom, she just gets nuked for fun, from like 1.5 HP. And you might be wondering, well bro, aren't you turbo fed? Of course you one-shot him, but I'm doing it while spending my gold on Tabis and Shin, which didn't even do much. I mostly just bought it for the ability haste now, although Sylas is a pretty good Shin user, you can't deny that. But even if I didn't have these items, a 1v1 with Rek'Sai using the Yorick Maiden with Malignance would still, and Q-Max would still look just as disgusting. Able to pick up the double kill. And I go for the blue buff because I know it's up. Then I go for my red buff, and I only do this because I want to be near the crab and near the fleshless Yorick to go for another gank. Because my immediate recall would not give me Iceborne. I would only get a Chain Vest, which doesn't help me snowball at all unless I go for like a really close fight. It's not more clear speed or more gank potential, and then I want to protect my bot side camps, because I know Rek'Sai is on bot side right now. 2, perhaps threaten a dive on this Morgana. Just explaining my thought process to have a good way to snowball. And then yeah, Rek'Sai sees me cross, so she already cleared the bot side and she tries to go for one of my camps. She could get Raptors, she could maybe get Krugs. By the time I get there, most probably just only one camp, because I'm pretty fast. And yeah, the Maiden gets left behind here and there a little bit, but the power it has on clearing bigger camps or objectives and just skirmishing is out of this world. It's just not balanced, guys. 91 magic damage per second. We run around with 4 fucking Yorick ghouls, which have 70 fucking AD each. And I also get, right now, you have to check here, 2.5% max cell damage. Like, how is this fucking balanced? Because it's not, bro. Getting hit with the Malignance here a bit. And you guys are wondering, the previous fight in top lane I didn't show you. My Malignance did about 350 damage in this 1v2 here. And you have to wonder, yeah, it's not the craziest thing ever, but it's still very solid, especially because of the hidden power of the 10 magic pen that you're not actually seeing. 10 magic pen is almost sorcerer's shoes, so if you can use Malignance like this, it can definitely be a very potent item. The reason why Malignance works like this is because it's supposed to be limited power with your ultimate. But the Yorick Maiden ends up being like a basic ability, that's why it's so strong. Because no item can do something like this. And as I said, I can do these dragons very easily. Because of the Maiden and goals, we spawn some more goals. You can also leave goals in lane. You can leave the Maiden to split push. As I said, block skill shots. I get my artificial mid priority here. We call it artificial mid priority. If your laner is not there to get prior, get the fucking prior yourself, bro. Even like super early game can be worth it. See this guy's grump, he has no smite. Slap him across the mouth, and you're like, hey bro, you have fucking Iceborne and Tubbies. You didn't even hit all your spells on this guy, why is he getting one shot? Of course he's 4 levels down, but yeah, you can play Iceborne Sylas and still nuke squishy targets. I showed this many times on this channel. It's not a big deal, Sylas just has high base damages. I look at my Q, yes I got a bit more AP now with Dark Seal and Alternator. And I was like, what? 700 motherfucking damage, bro. 700 motherfucking damage on 3.6 seconds cooldown. 360 damage. E, 323 damage. Passive, 200 damage. And you proc it like 5 times. And that's like excluding ultimates that you can get. It's a pretty crazy character with a lot of potential. And now I got the mana, I got the armor, I got the CDR, I'm immortal, I can 1v3, 1v4, 1v5, depending on how the fight plays out. I can bait in, I can poke people, I can sustain, dodge abilities, I can go over walls. Sylas character, get it into your champion pool. I know that this is not the highest quality game ever, even though you could say that my top end bot got stomped. I just didn't have a game where I play against Yorick to show you guys this thing. I was legit hunting for a game where I play Sylas versus Yorick. The moment I saw Yorick on enemy team, I insta-locked Sylas to be able to fish for this video. Because I knew this would be overpowered. I theory crafted that if you play against a Yorick, which is not like super popular but not too unpopular either, you have this boom. Should be a fucking free win, bro. If you play Sylas versus Yorick, it's legit worse than Malphite or Blitzcrank. Should be a motherfucking free win if you play your cards correctly. And as I said, I have this to infinity because I don't make mistakes, I don't die. Think about it. We can utilize this Yorick Maiden forever. I had it since level 6, I'm level 14, but I'm still using the same Maiden. I don't care about Morgana R, Poppy R, Rek'Sai R. I got a Yorick Maiden. It is busted. It is busted, my friends. And right now, you might notice I went for Storm Surge. Why Storm Surge? It's because I'm so far ahead that I'm already up 1 or 2 items over the enemies. Which means that I'm already just as tanky as I would be in normal circumstances, or even tankier, just because of level gaps and stuff like that. So I feel really confident to go for something that makes me one-shot people and give me movement speed to gap close and move around the map, so I can snowball even harder. Like, I got here because of the movement speed, and then once I get in, look, just fucking one-shotting them. That's what you can do with an item like Storm Surge on Sylas, when you are really far ahead. Normally, I would go for a chill Riftmaker. Riftmaker is extremely good. I'm gonna still buy it next, but I delayed the Riftmaker to inflict my gold lead into even more snowball. I'll also buy a Magi. I'm gonna get that at some point anyway. I just prefer the guaranteed power of the Storm Surge. It's a very, very solid item. Magic Pen is a pretty amazing stat for Sylas. And it's also gonna amplify the Malignance value. Yeah, we just like throw dice, people. This guy is pretty over, mates. If you guys enjoyed this content, if you enjoyed the theory crafting, I have even juicier stuff on this channel, I guess. Maybe not as broken. Yesterday we posted a new Skarner. If you like it, you know, check it out. Drop a sub, drop some likes. Write something funny below. Maybe hit me up for coaching, you know, you can join Discord, you can follow my Twitch stream. Also gonna open up a school community. And as you are able to see, I'm able to pick up tons of resources even though I'm ganking, fighting. We still go above 10 CS per minute because of the QMX, because of the Yorick Maiden. It is unstoppable. The only way I can die is if I run into enemy towers. And we just pillage the entire map. This is not the best way to close out the game. I could group a bit with my teammates and try to tower dive people in their in-hip towers. I'm just trying to like schizo min-max CS at this point for my own fun. Here we AFK'd a little bit to pick up my delivery. I ordered some carpaccio. Very yummy. The raw flesh in my belly. And then, yeah, I'm still like fucking 13 CS per minute after AFKing in base for 1 minute, so... Then I get grounded into fucking Morgana Q into fucking Poppy stun, and I couldn't flash out because I was grounded by Poppy W for 2 seconds. You guys didn't know Poppy also fucking grounds you for some reason after you get your spell, your dash cancelled and knocked up. My bad, I guess. Didn't much limit test then. I think then I go for another one. Where we also get soul, like I said, because we stack drakes really easily with this Yorick Maiden. And one thing I didn't show you though is that they killed my Maiden. Right? I think they killed my Maiden here. And then, because the circle around Yorick expired early game, it's like double the initial cooldown, so let's say like 4 minutes or something, I'm not sure. Which means that around 10 minutes it was available again. So the circle is not around, even though my Maiden just died. Point is, I can go see the Yorick and steal the fucking Maiden again and summon another one. And touch him a little bit. Yes, Mr. Yorick. Let me touch you with the Malignance. And if you're wondering, like, maybe this item doesn't deal the most damage ever, it maybe doesn't hit the zones that consistently, you have to realize that I want mana, AP and haste, and the item is really dirt cheap, so it's still solid on Sylas no matter what. Even if I still like Morgana R and proc some Malignance, it's still a solid item, it's never too bad. Because it just gives me the spikes in early and the stats that I want. So when you decide to be a critical thinker, you got to take all of these things into consideration. Anyways, I want to show you that in this situation, when I'm just by myself against Tristana with almost 4 items, just fucking around, I was still able to deal like 1k damage with my Malignance doing kinda nothing. Like, I'm basically in their tower getting Chancy Seed. And getting free hit by late game Tristana, which I almost killed from a distance. And then my Malignance ended up dealing like 1k fucking damage or something, I don't know, like 800? 900? Something like that. In just a few seconds, so that just shows a bit of the potential. Now imagine if your team has a bunch of CCs, and every team is a bit more melee, you go into some clumped up fights, they cannot kill the maiden because it has like 3k, 4k HP, boom, you get like 1k Malignance in the fight. And I actually got some messages from some of my viewers which told me, hey bro, this Malignant Sylas shit is kinda crazy, I did 1k damage by stealing Udyr R and NER. So that's great news, 1k damage in a fight, I mean. Let's check the next team fight and wrap this up. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really love some of the stuff that is happening in the game right now. With Sylas becoming a viable jungler, with the build diversity, with the guides that I'm gonna be able to make, with the content I'm able to pull out on YouTube. Hopefully season 16 in January brings out some juice that we can try. Sooner or later, somewhere in December or maybe late November, Riot is gonna announce some changes that are gonna happen at the start of next year probably, so I'm kinda excited to see what they cooked up because they've been working behind the scenes. Anyways, my friends, that's it with this game. Rek'Sai got tilted, went 100 CS down, set in fucking base. G, motherfucking G.